Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good
Good
morning. Good morning,
Yay!
Miss
Yay!
D.
Yes, so we're excited to be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Breaking Barriers podcast brought to you by the Hasi Resilience
Yeah.
Team. Yes, proudly supported by the Alliance for Women and
Yeah.
Girls. So this is supposed to be like the part two of our Breaking Barriers podcast. And I
Yeah.
have my sisters right here with me from Uganda, from Kenya,
Yay!
from Cameroon, and from Zimbabwe. So Essie just dropped off right now because she had network issues, as well as Mary. You know how the networks can be, right? So they're going to be joining us up later when the network is better. So we're just going to be going forward regardless, right? So I'm going to be passing the mic to Justine. Now, Justine will introduce herself and then she'll talk about her resilient story. And the idea of this podcast is to ensure that at the end of the day, we have this thing at the back of our minds that as female founders, as we're moving and thriving, we should have it somewhere that we're going to face challenges, we're going to face failures. It's going to happen. In fact, it's a necessary evil, right? But when we see those failures, those are not the stop signs. That's not the sign for us to stop or give up. The fact that we need to find a way to just keep going and keep going and keep going, because these failures will happen, these challenges, setbacks will happen, right? So we're going to be sharing our stories as a way of, just uplifting your spirit to know that you're not alone in that issue that you're going on, that's going on with you. You're not alone. We have our fair share of issues as well, and this is to tell you that you should keep going, sis. Yeah, so I'm going to pass the mic over to Justine, and she would introduce herself and tell us about that one time where she almost gave up. So yes, over
Thank you
to you,
so
Justine.
much. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Agnes. My name is Justine Nyiranziza, a co-founder of Rebuild Scholars, a non-profit organization in Uganda that is working towards education access for girls from rural and underserved communities in Uganda. So I'm excited to share my resilience story, my journey through this Foundry space. So for me, one of the challenges that really stood out in my journey, because my organization is just about 2 years old. We are a startup, and so it hasn't been easy, especially with a lot going on. And then at some point, each point and everyone is asking, with all the qualifications that you have, why don't you look find a job, find a job that is paying, because someone you'll find a job that will pay you more than even what you're doing, because this non-profit work is just it's a passion. It's out of passion. And if you think there is money involved, then it's not the space for you. It is more rewarding because we are giving back to community, and we are doing what we love to do, to see that we can be able to impact the lives of people out there. So for me, coming from the age of girl child and advocating for gender equality and equity, seeing the space of girls and how they have to go through a lot to be able to become to thrive in life, is one of the things why I started Rebuild Scholars. And looking back at my journey and my education and how hard it was for me to be able to go past this, looking at how my peers were dropping off along the way because they didn't have access to information on sexual and reproductive health and rights. And so they would get pregnant at an early age and then they drop off and become teenage mothers, is something that stood out for me to be able to start up this organization, to be able to spread information and put knowledge out there for girls to be able to understand that they can take charge of their bodies and have decisions and control over their bodies, so that they can be able to make meaningful choices and thrive in life. And so along this path, it hasn't been easy. But one thing that stood out is we were launching our Give Her the Keys project in one of our partner schools. So we undermined the influence of parents and cultural leaders in our programming. So all we thought we would go to the school. Once we talk to the school heads, pitch our program, they give us a platform, and then we can have our program, rolling in the school, and then be able to engage the girls on particular days that they will have chosen for us, and then our programming will go on. So we reached a point when we needed consent from parents to sign consent forms for the girls to be able to attend our sessions. So when we sent consent forms to parents through our girls, many parents declined from signing the consent forms. So we know, the cultural norms of traditional norms of, no, this program is going to deprive our girls. Our girls will end up resisting to be respectful to men, to be respectful to gender roles, and all those cultural norms that crippled around. So we had to engage the head teachers, call parents and cultural leaders, and have a one-on-one discussion, pitch to them the program and the objectives and goals. At the end of the day, they were in line and they asked questions, so we were able to answer their questions. So they accepted. Those parents that accepted to sign the forms signed the forms, though of course some other parents declined from signing the forms. But this took, we had to put a stop to our programming, a programming that had started running. We had invested money, but it had to get to a stall, and then we had to go back to the drawing board of now first engaging parents and cultural leaders. So we reached that point and we were like, no, can't we just drop this school and then move on to other schools that were receptive, to other parents that were receptive? But again, we were like, no, I think it is a weakness on our end. So we need to understand the culture where we are taking our programs, the community where we are taking our programs. So we tailor make programs based on communities where we are headed for. So it's something that we learned as an organization and as a team that has really guided us on other implementation of our program in other schools, that we get to understand that we need to engage parents and cultural leaders to be able to understand and buy their take into signing consent forms for their girls to be a part of our program. So we have to understand that, okay, that was a setback that took us about some months, at a stall of some good months without having programming in that school. But again, at the end of the day, we are glad that we were able to be understanding and also be able to understand the parents, and came to an agreement, and the parents signed the consent forms, and then we again had to rerun the program, and it's moving on so well. So it's something that that I highlighted our ability to be open-minded and be able to understand cultural norms as we head out to communities. So something that stood up, and I'm glad that it was able to guide our programming. Thank you so much.
Wow, look at that, look at that. Well done, well done. And
Thank
sometimes
you.
I like the fact that you highlighted something that's really very important. There are times when you'd have issues, and the best thing for you to do is pause.
Yeah.
Pause and try to find out, try to probe what's really going on, what's really happening, what am I missing, right? And pausing does not mean you're ending what you're doing. And sometimes that pause is actually very important. Imagine you decided to just move on with another school or something, or move on with other set of girls. I mean, I feel like you'll still come back to the same issue. Like, come back to solving that problem. So I think that that's, yes, I think that that's amazing.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
an
so
amazing
let's
story.
move on to Mary. Mary, I'm so happy that you're able to finally join.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're glad to
Okay,
have you,
so
Mary.
yeah, we're so happy to have you. So happy to have you. All
I
right,
agree.
so later on we'll talk about the technical issues and how you're able to pull through. That, because that's another resilience story anyway. So let's talk about you in one time when you almost give up on your initiative, but um you just had to find a way to pull through, like one huge challenge that, or one huge bump that you had to walk past. So just introduce yourself and just move on to your story.
Good morning, ladies. I hope you can
Good
hear me.
morning.
I'm so happy to be here today. I've been having but I'm glad I'm here today. So basically, for introduction purposes, my name is Mary. And for me, I would say it has been a journey. We have had a good share of challenges along the way, but we have great milestones that we are really proud of. And just to give you an overview, when we started, it was a bit hard to penetrate into the market. And because we were touching on gender equality in the transportation sector, it was not easy at all, because this is a heavily male dominated sector. And for you to be able to penetrate as a lady, it's not easy. But we trusted the process. But one of the challenges that really hit me hard was when I was pitching to investors or other stakeholders or other industry experts. I could find myself in a very hard or rather fixed situation, because they'd ask me, "Do you have a male co founder?" And this clearly shows that most of the ladies are not believed to make it in male dominated sectors. It made me feel like I'm not good enough. And I'd go back home during the night. I'll think of maybe I should walk away. Maybe it's not worth it. That's something that really I really appreciate the people who came through, the programs that I applied to and got accepted as a lady. They really shaped me and gave me a thick skin to be able to, to be able to survive in this field. They really helped me in changing my mindset. I had a very weak mindset, but after going through the mentorship, after meeting several visibility for myself, I could attend events, talk about what I'm doing. Some of the people would I will be criticized at some point, but now I learned that you need to embrace that for you to be able to refine your idea, or rather refine what you are doing. Um, and I think that's something that has really helped me, because initiative was really very well embraced, especially internationally. And that's where I was like, yeah, I believe in myself, and I believe I can do this. And from that, I was able to win some awards. I was able to and from that time, I believe I fit in each and every sector, each and every opportunity that I come across. I believe I can do everything. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Stories of resilience. We love to hear it. We love to hear it all. Well done, well done, well done. I could just, I mean, imagine a mobility kind of like space, and then you from nowhere, you want to now come and penetrate that system. And you don't know the people that are already there. You don't know. I'm sure that's what some people were like thinking. They were
And
like,
you're a
who is this
woman.
person? Yes.
Mhm.
And you just want to just come. You
Mhm.
know, so, but imagine how far you've come. Imagine the, even though you had setbacks, you had challenges, but I mean, I think that that would even make you stronger than your contemporaries who just had it easy, and they just found a way to just enter the market and all that. You'd have a lot more stories to tell. You have a
Yeah.
lot more. I mean, your thick skin would be on a different level. So yes, I am just really able to resonate with that story a lot. And it just states the fact that there are no success stories without these challenges or setbacks. I understand that a lot of
Of
people,
course.
when they're talking about their success stories, they hardly mention the fact that they went through a lot to get to where they are. We just see the successes, we just see the highlights, we see them in very good living very good lifestyles and all, and then you forget that these people, if you had met them that time, you would
Yeah.
pity them. So I think that it's good for us to be talking about these stories a lot, so that when people face these stories, they don't feel this kind of issues, they don't feel, oh, the only thing I need to do is give up. They're supposed to just tell themselves that, oh yes, I've really arrived. For me to
True.
be having this issue, I have arrived. Yes, I have started. I've really started. So I would like to go to Senge. I know that we were in this together last week on the first episode, so we're going to be talking a little bit about something different. So let's talk about one advice, saying that you've already spoken about your resilience story. So assuming that you have one young person who is looking at you and be like, this this work that this lady is doing is amazing, and I would like to do this maybe when I grow up or later on in my life. So if you're supposed to advise that one person, what would your advice be?
Okay, Agnes. Thank you for this question. All right. If I would want to advise one person, one young person who is willing to face her fears and don't give up, I would tell the person that go for it. Just go for it. Do whatever you feel as to do. You know your vision, you know your mission, and you know what you want to acquire from it. So don't let setbacks, side talks, or whatsoever discourage you from pursuing your dream, because they are valid. They are meant for you. Even live with somebody else. Like, tell your own story, narrate it in your own way. Your voice matters. So I'll just tell them to go for it. Nobody can stop you. Even your own inner self. You are bigger than that. At times it's good we fight it. We fight it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of what people will say. You are enough. At times I used to tell my kid brother that your thoughts are enough. If you can think about it, you can do it. So that's all I have to say to anyone who wants to just go, like, do whatever you want to do. It's for yourself, not for anyone. So thank you for the question.
Yay! Amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. All right,
Mhm.
so last person would be me. My advice would be, I've always given this advice: just start. Just start, oh, just start.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Exactly, anywhere you are. We've had stories of people who started in WhatsApp groups. They just start with the little action you can take. One thing that I've learned over time, my journey so far, is that when you have ideas, the first thing that you need is not money. Yes. The first thing you need is not money. There is always one step. The reason why I mentioned money is because a lot of young people are waiting for money to do that big ideas, to achieve that big idea, to experiment, to implement what they have in their head. And I promise you, the first thing you need is not money. There are so many steps you can take, right? So I would say just start. What little steps can you take today? Start taking it. Right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've
Yeah.
come to the end of our Breaking Barriers podcast. Part
Yeah.
two, because I'm thinking there will be a part three, because Esther is here. You guys, Esther is not here. You guys have to hear from her. It's impossible for us to have this
Yeah.
entire
She has an
podcast and
amazing
not have
story.
Esther. Exactly. So we're gonna do a part 3. Thank you so much, guys. We're excited to have done this with you. We're hoping that you pick a few lessons from everything that we've said. And we're going to be putting out our social media handles or where to find us. So if you're interested, we'll spoke a little bit about the things that we do. If you're really excited about maybe getting to know more, we're going to put this information out there so you can actually get to find out more about the different things that we do. So we're excited to get you to know more. Thank you so much and bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Bye.
Goodbye.